Rockies win streak comes to an end. Tigers thump the Diamondbacks in the desert. Tyler Alexander had us thinking perfect game. Welcome in, everyone. Steve Lennox, Lennox on Baseball live stream podcast. Glad you're with us on this early Saturday morning as we hit the weekend hard. And Mr. Alexander had me thinking last night. We'll recap Rays and Blue Jays, but working MLB Advanced Media in the past, on the floor doing recaps and voicing recaps for games, Chelsea Market in New York City on the West Side Highway, off the West Side Highway, and even working Sports Center all night for ESPN Radio in the past. When a pitcher loses a no-hitter during the course of an evening, or even a perfect game, even more so, people at those venues that I worked with would stand, cheer, high five, applaud to just a certain degree over the fact that we weren't going to have to cut highlights. We're not going to have to do certain things for that particular night for a milestone of a no-hitter or a perfect game. So when the last game no longer had a perfect game, potential perfect game, or a no-hitter intact, everyone sort of cheered because it wasn't that much more work added on for that particular day or night. Thought about that last night. Mr. Skeens was terrific. We'll get into that as well. Pirates, Cubs, day baseball at Wrigley on a Friday. Nothing really better there. But I found something new just this morning, and it's on the X, formerly known as Twitter, Umpire Auditor. I had never heard of it before. An Umpire Auditor on the X with almost 96,000 followers. And they had video clips of Paul Skeens against the Cubs at Wrigley Field yesterday. Home plate umpire Brian Onora. It's about 4 or 5 clips. I watched it multiple times. Brian Onora, success rate 84.8%. I don't know if it's success rate there or if it's the number of calls. He was only 84.8%. That's not good. That was the worst of the year in terms of balls and strikes. And watching it for a second and third time for Umpire Auditor this morning, I paralleled it to the book I'm reading on Sandy Alderson and Zach Wheeler years ago now making his big league debut with the New York Mets, and how he, over his first handful of starts, was squeezed by the home plate umpire. A strike zone is a strike zone. For a rookie making his big league debut or his second big league start, in the case of Paul Skeens, or a guy like Zach Wheeler years ago. But, we know the young pitchers have to establish, they weren't getting calls. Even the broadcast crew yesterday was like, grimacing, grunting of like, there's another missed call. There's another missed call. There's another missed call. And, didn't intro it, but umpires, bad calls, squeezing rookies. We'll conclude with that is baseball. That's baseball. It was just interesting to see how that played out yesterday. Injury note, we'll get into the Giants snapping the Rockies' 7-game win streak in San Francisco last night, but Giants are going to be without Jung-Ho Lee for the rest of the season. He's going to have surgery on a torn labrum in his left shoulder in the coming days or weeks. Lee did injure his shoulder last Sunday, ran into the wall in San Francisco early on in a game against the Cincinnati Reds. So he's lost for the season, and his first season in the big leagues in the States coming to an end early as well. Let's get into it, recapping day number 51 of the Major League Baseball season. And we do open up with Paul Skeens and the Pirates at Wrigley Field against the Cubs on Friday. And I said it, and I don't expect Skeens to do this next time out, what he did on Friday and, come late May, June into July, but he was outstanding. And I mentioned it several times with him and Jack Leiter. I wanted to see their second and third starts. Yes, watching their big league debuts was one thing, but the nerves, the energy, all the different things that go into that, family, friends being at the ballpark, all those different things, a factor for Paul Skeens last Saturday, debuting in Pittsburgh against the Cubs. Yesterday, Skeens, the Pirates are now, let's start off with the Pirates are 2-0 in his first 2 big league starts, and he picked up his first big league victory on Friday as well. Skeens, he was impressive. Hyperbole for Skeens on Friday, suspended indefinitely. Because when you throw 6 innings of no-hit baseball in your second big league start, you can use all the adjectives. You can use anything you want to describe what Paul Skeens did on Friday. It was outstanding. Left with an 8-0 lead. 6 innings, no hits, no runs, 1 walk, 11 strikeouts. Pirates won the game 9-3. Most importantly, Skeens struck out the first 7 that he faced. 11 of 19 first pitch strikes, 22 swing and misses, 100 pitches. Baseball Savant, the four-seamer, 100 pitches, so the percentages work for me. 41%, 41 four-seamers, 33, they're calling it the sprinkler or something like that. Split finger fastball, topped out with a splitter at 96.5. Fastball hitting 100 miles plus. I believe I counted 12 times total. Skeens retired the first 13 batters that he faced. Michael Busch, a walk in the 5th inning, only base runner allowed by Paul Skeens, who, by the way, still is not 22 years old. Two things I'd like to see from the Pirates going forward, watching that game yesterday on MLB Network. Two things I'd like to see from the Pirates. A, shore up the defense. And B, get those middle relievers set. And those middle relievers for the Pirates, Bednar, Chapman in the back, they can be iffy. They can be spotty once in a while. But if they can be consistent and, Skeens, 100 pitches, 6 innings, he's going to get his strikeouts, right? I don't think he throws a no-hitter this year. And if you're going to strike out, if he's going to get a no-hitter, he's probably striking out somewhere between 5 and 8 hitters. He's getting quick outs early in counts so he can go deeper into a game. 6 innings, 100 pitches, okay, 11 strikeouts. The number is going to be high. But shore up the defense behind this young pitching staff. Don't make them have extra outs, get extra outs in an inning. I don't watch the Pirates every single day, but I know they're 21 or 22 defensive fielding percentage. Probably 21 or 22 right now in terms of errors committed during the course of this season, which is now 43, 44, 45 games in. But shore up that defense behind these young pitchers as well. Those are two things I'd love to see from the Pirates. And I do know that you can say a lot about teams out there. This is a young team. And again, I don't want Skeens, Jones, any of the guys in their rotation right now. And you look at their rotation, I don't know that they're going to have another 5-6 game losing streak for the season. If they do, I'd be surprised, because there are guys in that rotation right now who are just going to say, you know what, we're not losing tonight. Losing streak's going to be over. So, maybe they have a 2-game, 3-game, 4-game slide here, but I don't see them having an extended losing streak the rest of the way. We'll see how that plays out. Mookie Betts, Shohei, and Jason Hayward all homering for the Dodgers last night. They even up their series at a game apiece with a victory over the Reds. Dodgers taking it by a score of 7-3. Hayward just off the IL, his first home run of the season. That came late in the 8th inning. Betts led off the home first inning with a solo shot against Frankie Montas. Will Smith, RBI knock in the 7th inning. That broke a 3-3 tie. Dodgers did not trail again after that. Hayward off the IL. Max Muncy oblique issue on the injured list for the Dodgers. Dave Roberts saying that he didn't think Muncy's oblique was anything serious, could be off the IL as soon as he's ready to come off, went on the 10-day IL, with Hayward coming off the injured list as well. So the Dodgers with that victory late last night on the West Coast, evening up the series with the Reds at a game apiece. Guardians opening up their weekend series at home with a 3-2 victory against the Twins. Guardians 3-0 against the Twins this season. Jose Ramirez breaking a 2-2 tie with a 2-out solo home run in the 8th inning. Love Jose Ramirez. Absolutely love him. He is one guy I can make a case for. I want to see the Guardians go to an ALCS. I'd love to see him go to the World Series over the course of his career, because he seems right now like a guy you could see being with one club for his entire big league career. You could see also, on the other hand, him saying at the end, I have got a year, I've got 2 years left. I might have to go somewhere where, I've got a better shot to get to the World Series. But Ramirez breaking that 2-2 tie with a solo home run. Emmanuel Clase, love to see it. Team takes the lead in the home 8th inning. Closer comes on, shuts the door in the 9th inning. Clase did just that last night, picking up the save, his 13th on the year. David Fry also homering in the ballgame as well for the Guardians. Fry, one swing of the bat with a 2-run home run, that in the 6th inning. Twins held to 4 hits and losing their 4th in a row. Everything was going well. 12-game win streak, 17-3 mark over 20 games. Offense has gone cold. 3 runs during their current 4-game slide. Alex Kirilloff with a home run in the 3rd inning. That broke a streak for the Twins where they had gone scoreless in 28 straight innings. Not going to win a lot of games not scoring. Guardians with the victory, also with the win, debuting their new City Connect uniforms. Didn't get a great look at them, but saw the helmet, and I like the helmet. I like the helmet a lot. Watch most of this game, and watching a little hockey last night, watching a little basketball, going back and forth through a handful of baseball games. The Red Sox and Cardinals was like watching paint dry. At one point, watching the Nesson broadcast with Dave O'Brien and Will Middlebrooks, I thought the game was like in the 7th or 8th inning. I'm like, oh, the Red Sox are behind. Can they get there? The game was still in like the middle innings. At one point, when I noticed, I'm like, whoa, this game is just snail's pace. You don't see that as often anymore, but last night just was somewhat brutal. The way games are played at a faster pace this nowadays. Brian Bayo did celebrate a 25th birthday on Friday, but the Cardinals did their best to spoil it. Bayo tagged with the loss. Cardinals taking the series opener 10-6. Cardinals 4 home runs, 3 of those off the birthday boy. Brian Bayo, Lars Nootbaar, Nolan Gorman, Alec Burleson, Mason Wynn, all homering for St. Louis. Colton Wong collecting 4 hits for the Red Sox, who now have lost 3 in a row, just 4 wins in their last 14 games. And with that, a game below 500. Garrett Whitlock did pitch at AAA for the Red Sox on Wednesday. Looked like he was going to be on track to get back in the rotation at the big league level on next week. That's not happening, at least for now. Alex Cora telling the media Friday, Whitlock soreness around his elbow, shut down for a few days, and Alex Cora saying hopefully they'll know more, have a better idea of where he stands on Monday when the weekend is over. Yankees back at the big ballpark in the Bronx, extending their win streak to 5 in a row, beat the White Sox in the series opener 4-2. Aaron Judge, a home run in the first. Giancarlo Stanton, his 10th home run of the season. That big shot in the 6th inning. Stanton also had an RBI double in the 4th inning. Nestor Cortez allowing just an unearned run over 7 solid for his second win. Clay Holmes working a scoreless 9th inning. Holmes to save his 13th on the year. Holmes has now gone 19 1/3 innings without allowing an earned run this season. Andrew Vaughn, 2 hits, 2 RBIs for the White Sox. Yankees have won 11 of 13, along with that 5-game win streak, now 16 over 500 for the first time this season. I think it's fair warning as we're closing in on Memorial Day with the Yankees right now, and I mentioned it the other day, they're doing this. They've got this great stretch right now without Garrett Cole, who's going to be back at some point soon. I think for, it maybe just, I want to say all the other teams, Red Sox would be on the borderline right now. The Rays, almost a perfect game. We'll get into that in a moment. But Toronto sloughing off a little bit. Orioles, I think certainly, if you want to win the AL East for a second straight year, the Orioles, they're right there. They haven't fallen 5 games back. But you should be on notice that the Yankees are there. And Juan Soto is a big part of that. Got off to a great start, scuffling a bit of late. But the Yankees are just quietly have put this stretch together. This didn't, they're not thumping teams every single night, but they're just slowly, quietly, I should say, maybe more, of just playing winning baseball right now. Speaking of the Orioles, they used 2 big innings in thumping the Mariners 9-2 at Camden Yards Friday. Orioles 5 runs in the first inning, 4 more runs in the 7th inning. Gunnar Henderson leading off the home first inning with a home run. Henderson back in that leadoff spot, cleanup spot earlier this week. 13th home run of the season. Henderson RBI triple in the 7th inning. That made it 6-2. Adley Rutschman, Austin Hayes added RBI doubles in that 7th inning. Hayes scoring on a wild pitch to cap the Orioles scoring for the night. And John Means got the run support. Means 2-0 with the victory on the season for the Orioles. Means gave up 2 earned runs over 6. Dylan Moore touched him up for a solo home run, that in the 5th inning for the Mariners. Baltimore relievers, 4 of them combining for 3 scoreless innings. Colton Cowser, 2 hits, 2-run double in the 1st inning. Henderson, 6th career leadoff home run and his 4th this season. Let's get into the almost perfect game. Rays Tyler Alexander. And I sent Andy Freed, Rays terrific radio announcer, a note via X. I thought it was my fault because all of a sudden it's the alerts are going off on the phone. Neil Solondz actually had the call. But as I put it on the Rays radio broadcast in the 8th inning, Alexander, just a few moments later, lost that perfect game bid. I'll put it on my back. He retired the first 22 that he faced, and in a blink of an eye was in trouble. Danny Jansen broke up the perfect game bid with a single, and they went from there. 1-out single in the 8th inning off Alexander. Next hitter, Davis Schneider, who I'm liking, broke up the shutout bid as well with a 2-run home run. That made it 4-2 Rays. Dalton Varsho, a base hit. He scored on a hit from Kevin Biggio. That made it a 1-run game. Alexander, 7 1/3. 3 hits, 3 runs, all earned, no walks, 4 strikeouts. Did pick up the win. Rays, at that point, up 4-3. Close out that 4-3 victory in the series opener. Alexander's 2nd victory. Richie Palacios, 2-run home run in the win for the Rays. And Pete Fairbanks 1-2-3 ninth inning for his fourth save. Needed just 6 pitches to get the job done for the Rays in the bottom of the ninth inning against Toronto. Zach Wheeler gave up 2 earned runs over 7 in the third. Phillies, all 4 of their runs in the first inning, 3 innings, ended up beating the Nationals 4-2 at Citizens Bank Park on Friday. Wheeler, 3 hits, 3 walks allowed, struck out 6, now 5-3 on the season. Phillies have won Wheeler's 5 of his last 6 starts after losing his first 4 outings of the season. Phillies managed just 5 hits. Nationals held to 4 base hits by Phillies pitching. Jake Irvin gave up 4 runs, all 4 runs for the Nationals. He takes a loss to fall to 2-4 in the season. Jeff Hoffman scoreless ninth inning. He picked up the save. Hoffman has given up just 2 earned runs over his first 20 outings this year. He's a 1-inning guy, 20 outings and 20 innings pitched. And over that stretch, as I mentioned, giving up just 2 earned runs total. 28 straight scoreless innings and 3 straight shutouts now for the Miami Marlins. The Marlins, back home, Friday night, opened up a series against the Mets. And again, I said it the other day, the Mets series against the Phillies, it kind of showed the Mets perhaps where they are and where they need to go to be an elite team in the National League. They did win the finale on Thursday, but lost the previous 3. You're losing to the Marlins 8-0. Jesus Luzardo entered the game Friday night with an ERA almost 6. Luzardo, 3 relievers combining on the shutout. Luzardo, first win of 2024, 6 scoreless frames. The Mets offense is hard to watch. It's really rough right now. Luzardo, 5 hits allowed, no walks, struck out 7. Christian Scott gave up the 4 earned runs, taking the loss, his second straight for the Mets. Nick Fortes made it 4-0 Marlins with a 2-out, 2-run home run. That came in the second. Fortes had a night, 3 for 3, 3 RBIs, and 3 runs scored as well. I mentioned the Mets offense. Francisco Lindor did have a base hit in his first at-bat, 2-out single against Luzardo in the first inning. That broke an 0 for 17, hitless the rest of the way. He's now 1 for his last 21, and Lindor, he goes out and has a 3-hit game. Say he has 5 hits over the final 2 games. His batting average, sorry, I got to go look back at the sheet there. His batting average at 195. So, he has a couple of multi-hit games here over the next couple of games. His average is still going to be right around that 200 mark. Padres got all 3 of the runs in the 5th inning. Chase Max Fried from the game as well in the 5th. Padres beat the Braves in Atlanta 3-1 to take the series opener. Jurickson, Profar, Jake Cronenworth, who had 3 hits, both coming through with RBI singles in that inning against Fried. Profar now 30 runs batted in on the season. Matt Waldron gave up a run in the first inning on an RBI single off the bat of Matt Olson. Waldron left with 2 outs in the 6th inning, struck out 10, a career high, and picked up the win, as second on the year. Padres collecting 13 hits against Atlanta pitching, all 13 singles. Series opener in Arlington, Angels strong performance from their starter Tyler Anderson, got home runs from Taylor Ward, who I'm liking, and Zach Neto, 9-3 victory for the Angels on the road in Arlington against the Rangers. Anderson gave up just 1 run on a solo home run, that to Jonah Heim in the second inning. He gave up 2 hits over 7. Anderson, 4 strikeouts, now 4-4 with the victory. Neto broke a 1-1 tie with a 2-run home run in the 4th inning. Ward's home run made it 7-1 with his solo home run in the 6th inning. And Marcus Semien, a 2-run shot in the 8th for the Rangers, who have now lost 6 of their last 7 games. Win for Angels manager Ron Washington, his first coming back to face his former team. Ron Washington, leading the Rangers to the World Series back in 2010 and did it again in 2011. Astros extend their win streak to 6 in a row Friday night, winning 5-4 against the Brewers in the series opener in Houston. Prayers out to the people in Houston who went through the hurricane or the tornado and the rough weather over the last couple of days. Hunter Brown's final line wasn't necessarily pretty, but it was enough to pick up his first win of 2024. Brown, 5 innings, 4 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, home runs all out to Jake Bowers, a solo shot. Joey Ortiz also touched him up for a 3-run home run. Ortiz, number 5 on the air. Jeremy Pena, Jake Myers homering for the Astros, who have also won 8 of their last 9. Creeping closer. Anytime I mention the Astros right now, talk about creeping closer to that 500 mark. They're now 5 under 500. Pena said afterward, we're feeling good. Tigers got the offense going Friday night in Phoenix against the Diamondbacks. Tigers, remember, shut out previous 2 games by the Marlins, who now have 3 shutouts in a row. 13-0 the final. Tigers over the Diamondbacks in the series opener in Phoenix. Tigers out hitting the Diamondbacks 17-3. Javier Baez had a night. They've been few and far between. 3 for 4 for Baez, couple of doubles, 5 RBIs. Kerry Carpenter, a couple of base hits, 4 runs batted in. Colt Keith, 4-hit game. And he also had a couple of ribbies as well. Tarek Skubal taking advantage of the run support, and he's been outstanding. Perfect record. Now 6-0. 6 innings, 1-hit shutout baseball for Skubal. Walked no one, struck out 6, including the side in the 4th inning. Skubal at one point retiring 13 in a row. Only hit he allowed a 1-out double to Randall Grishik. That came in the 5th inning. Ryan Nelson roughed up, gave up 8 earned runs on 11 hits for the Diamondbacks in the loss. Ketel Marte did extend his hit streak to 16 in a row in this one. Marte did it in his final at bat, a single in the 9th inning. Longest active hit streak in Major League Baseball right now belongs to Arizona's Ketel Marte. Giants able to double up the Rockies 10-5 in San Francisco Friday night. With that, the Rockies' 7-game win streak comes to an end. Jordan Beck, the rookie for the Rockies, did homer, solo shot his second in 2 games. Thairo Estrada turned a 4-2 deficit into a 5-4 lead with a 3-run home run in the 5th inning for the Giants. And the Giants did not trail again after Estrada's big blow. He had 3 hits, 3 RBIs, 3 runs scored. Luis Matos, 3 base hits, including a couple of doubles, 5 runs batted in. Matt Chapman, 3 hits, including a couple of doubles. He scored 3 runs, and the Giants win that one by a score of 10-5. Royal smacked 2 home runs in a 5-run 6th inning, took the series opener at home. 6-2 win against the scuffling Oakland A's. Salvador Perez, 2-out RBI single in the 1st inning to get KC on the board first. Michael Massey, 2-run home run in the 6th. That made it 3-0. Michael Garcia providing a little bit more 2-out magic with a 3-run home run. Cole Reagans 3-3 with the victory. 7 shutout innings for Reagans, who allowed just 2 hits, a pair of walks. He struck out 7. A's 2 runs in the 9th inning on a 2-run home run by Shea Langoliers. A's have dropped 6 in a row, 11 of 13 now, a season high 9 under 500. And during this current 6-game skid, they've given up 36 runs total and scored just 6 runs as well. Sugar's Random Thoughts, presented by the Yellow Rose of Talbot Bed and Breakfast in Easton, Maryland. Considering to stay on the beautiful Maryland Eastern Shore this spring, summer, or fall, consider a stay at the Yellow Rose of Talbot B&B. Tell my sister Tammy, my brother-in-law Kenneth, that I sent you their way. With Paul Skeens right now being Paul Skeens, 1-0, Pirates 2-0 in his first 2 big league starts. You might hear the name John Candelaria if you listen to Pirates radio or Pirates TV broadcasts, or if you just are following baseball on a daily basis at an insane rate. Let's call it that. John Candelaria, dude was legit for the Pirates from 1975 through 1984. Didn't look it up. Not sure what the fall off was after that, but Candelaria during that time was just terrific. A win and a loss in 2 starts against the Orioles in the 79 World Series, won by the We Are family, Pittsburgh Pirates. And it's just a name. It came up yesterday, thought about it, and went back and looked at his baseball reference page. And I do a little segment here of when was the last time you heard the name. Didn't do it necessarily here with John Candelaria, but go back and look at his numbers for his 75 through 1984 seasons, and 10-plus wins almost every single season during that stretch with the Pirates, and got a World Series ring, again, as I mentioned, in 1979. I will listen to the song Cheap Seats by Alabama at least once this weekend, and probably if I listen to it once, I'm probably going to hit repeat and listen to it for a second time and maybe a third time as well. Always appreciate the support as we continue to build on our Lennox on Baseball live stream podcast with our daily recaps, and hopefully setting up some interviews going forward as well. If you subscribe to the YouTube channel, well, you can do it without subscribing, but subscribers are certainly encouraged. You can go back to our YouTube channel where we've got archived interviews from not only over the last couple of weeks and months, but also going back to during the time in COVID as well. If you're a fan of the Baseball Bunch, I've got one archived there with the producers and directors from the Baseball Bunch from, I guess, 2020, 2021, somewhere in there. That is one of our terrific interviews. Greg Swindell, Jeff Nelson, former big leaguers. A lot of great interviews that you can go back and archive, and they're not necessarily dated. They're, sharing baseball stories as we continue to build. We went long here on a Saturday, but we had a lot to talk about on a Saturday as we get you ready for a full day of baseball as well on Saturday and then into the weekends. We're trying to do this a little after 8 o'clock a.m. Eastern. I put that 8:05 start time on it for Monday through Saturday because it's a nod to the TBS and the Superstation, because Braves games growing up as a kid, it was always that 05 start time. Sunday nights, I've enjoyed doing it Sunday nights after Sunday night baseball wraps up. So that would be tomorrow night. And we seem to have a pretty good audience live with our live stream as well. Enjoy your Saturday, everybody. We'll talk soon.